What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's a beautiful Monday morning. Let's step inside the shop and see what we got cooking on this week. So guys, I'm sure you will remember when I show you the car, but the Supercharged Mercedes is back. I don't know if you guys will remember this. If not, I'll put the link up here in the top of the video of when we put this Magnuson Supercharge on this Mercedes-Benz. Probably close to 4 years ago now when we did that, and then the car's been back for, you know, small things throughout the years. I think we've done plugs on it once. I'm not sure, but anyways, the car is back. Today we're going to be changing some pulleys, not the boost pulley, but some of the idler pulleys for the belt. We're going to be changing those out, upgrading those to some metal pulleys, get rid of the plastic stuff, and then we're going to be doing some suspension. I think we're replacing the shocks all the way around. So that's what we got starting off this fine Monday morning. Hopefully we get our camshaft back, well, not back, our new camshaft in for our Challenger right there. That's what we've got going on. Let's get it started. So guys, we went ahead and got all of our pulleys changed. So basically every pulley except for the blower pulley and the harmonic balancer got upgraded to a new middle pulley. So now that we got all of that on there, unfortunately the suspension components that the customer supplied were wrong, so we did not end up putting new shocks on this thing. So that is it. We're done with the Mercedes, so we're going to fire this one up and get it on back outside and get on with our next project. You guys see that? You guys see that over there? Right there. Right there, that's the new guy. That's the old guy. As we move forward through our day, we've got the ECU working in our Procharged car, so I'm going to get to tuning that. John is over here working on Royce's. We're getting the axles put in. And then, as you can see, we got somebody new over here. Lane, say hi to everybody. This is Lane. He just started with us last week, and he's working on getting our surfaces cleaned up, because we should be getting our new camshaft for this thing in. So he's going to get everything cleaned up in preparation for that. So let's go ahead and get to tuning on this Procharged Charger. Okay guys, so I've got the initial changes made in the ECU for the Procharged setup. We're going to go ahead and make our baseline run and see what kind of power it's going to make. So guys, we did end up checking with the customer, and it was running 89 instead of 93. So we pumped some of that out, and we pumped in 6 gallons of 93 octane. So now we're going to go ahead and get back to tune. Alright guys, that was a nice clean run. So let's take a look at what we made on our, really this is our third pull, but let's take a look at it. So we made 463 horsepower, 492 foot-pounds of torque. So very nice. Let's see how close we can get to 500 wheel on this thing. So another nice clean run, and we're about there. There's not much more to go. You know, stock engine. We're gonna keep the timing real conservative. Air fuels are looking really good, and it's making clean power. So that last run, focus out. 482 horsepower and 505 foot-pounds of torque. Graph is looking really nice. And then if we look a little tighter in here, we can see our air fuels. Nice and clean. I'll lean it out a little bit. I might clean it up a shed more, but right at mid-11s. So let's step inside and take a look at the runs. The run through HB tuners here. I know I don't bring you guys inside very often, but I know some of you guys want to learn some stuff. So let's take a peek here. What we got on the screen. So things that I have queued up that I like to see pretty quickly: throttle position, vehicle speed, engine oil pressure, we got the intake air temperature, and then we got our manifold absolute pressure. So I'm able to see how much boost we're running. Got our oxygen sensor voltage readings, got our engine RPM, mass airflow volts, pressure ratio. If you know anything about tuning Dodges from back in the day, pressure ratio, and in the neons, important table. And then we also got our charge air temperature. Over here, got our map, RPM, oxygen sensors, our long-term and short-term fuel trims. Tune fuel over here is a table that I built for doing Hemis, and it's basically the absolute sensor versus RPM. And then so with this table, especially with the neutral network being turned off, not in this car, I didn't turn it off in this car, but if I would have done a camshaft, then I would have turned the neutral network off. But anyways, I use this table. Helps me dial in the fuel table very quickly because I'm able to see, you know, plus or minus on your long and short. Basically, this table is set up, sorry I'm babbling, I've got it set up to identify the long-term fuel trims on both banks. And you take an average of those and then show me RPM versus pressure, the table. And then basically I can copy and paste this table into, let me show you guys, airflow, speed density, VE. So this is what the VE table looks like, the factory VE table, or what it looks like. I'm not going to go into explaining the neutral network because there's a lot to it, but basically if I were to go in and start changing these numbers, it would have little effect due to how the neutral network system works in these newer Dodges. So like, even though we changed the map sensor and we changed the injectors in this car, we basically have gone in and just made the authorizations in the injector pulse width to compensate for the injector sizing, and which works out really well, leaving the neutral network enabled when we've got minimal modifications. You know, we just did a blower, that's it. Everything else is stock headers, stock cat, stock exhaust. So we're able to leave those systems on, and as you can see, our fuel trims are really nice. Plus or minus 5%. Barely even kicking on the long terms at all. So everything looks really good on the fueling. Let me get back over here to where we were making the run on the dyno. And then so our green line here is TPS, and our white line here is our ignition timing. So as you see, as soon as we smack the throttle, we pull the timing out of it, and we slowly ramped it kind of back in, and we're holding about 10 degrees all the way to red line. I could probably push it a little harder. I could probably go to 12 degrees and we'd be alright. But you know, this is a big jump from stock, so I normally leave them a little conservative, let the customer get used to it. When he's ready for more, we can turn it up, and most likely we'll end up doing a cam or some long tubes, and we're going to end up retuning anyways for those modifications. And when we do, we'll turn the car up accordingly at that point. But I just wanted to show you guys that real quick, and we're going to let the car cool down. I'm going to go over a few more things on the map, but I think that's pretty much it. I think we got this one wrapped up. Unstrap it from the dyno and take it on the old test drive. So I'll let this cool down. We'll do one more pass, and then hopefully this afternoon we can get this thing on back to the customer. So UPS showed up and we got our comp cam 270 cam, and it looks like John is finishing stabbing it into the motor. So moving right along with our Tuesday, John and Lane are over here getting the heads torqued back on our Hemi. We got our cam in, lifters in, all that stuff yesterday. Came in this morning and got the head slammed on this thing. And hopefully by the end of the day today, we'll hear this thing fire up. We also have this beautiful Golf R on the dyno. They're renting the dyno, getting some tuning done, but I'm going to run the machine for them. Probably not going to see the power pulls, or the horsepower and torque numbers. They'll probably keep them to themselves, but I'll at least record some of the runs for you guys. So let's get after it. So guys, unfortunately our tuning session on our Golf R was cut short due to some ridiculous requests by the remote tuner. But anyways, this is the graph. 539 and 499. Very impressive Golf R. It's a wonderful Wednesday morning, and as you can hear, we chopping, baby. Challenger is all done. Oh, whoa. Replace that bad lifter with a fresh set of Hellcat lifters, and replace the bad comp cam with a brand new comp cam 274. He's back to purring like a kid. Nice and quiet. So that's going to wrap this one up. We're going to go take it out for a test drive and get this one on back to the customer. So guys, moving forward with our week, we had another car dropped off that was on the schedule for today out of Austin, about an hour away from here. This 2015 Charger. Customer installed HRE long tubes, mid pipes, exhaust. The rear muffler's been removed. As you can hear, got a nice base map in it. It's got a Texas Speed Stage 2 camshaft in it, Mopar intake, and then he also installed a set of Hellcat injectors. Car is going to be on e85, so waiting on the customer to bring back some e85 for the thing. We'll drain it out, put some E in it, and get to squeeze on this thing and make some power. So let's get after it. So guys, as you just seen that power pull, take you over to the, excuse me Lane, take you guys over to the computer. You can take a look. I've already made a couple of pulls. Got this thing dialed in on some E. And so this is where we're at so far. Still got some work to do, got some cleaning up to do, but already to a great start. So I'm gonna hop back in here, get these fuel trims dialed in a little bit tighter, and then start sprinkling in some timing. guys, that's gonna wrap this one up. That last pull looked really good. This thing's making some nice clean power. I'll take you over here to the screen and see what we finished out at. 478 horsepower, 510 foot-pounds of torque. Graph looks good. Air fuels are rock solid. He's a winner. So guys, I'm in here early on a Friday morning. A couple hours before everybody else gets in. And we're gonna go ahead and get our transmission stabbed back in the gremlin. See, we got our twin disc in there. And then yesterday I got new fork, and then I already had the throwout bearing, new throwout bearing. So got all that stuff situated. Gonna lube up my shaft and stab this transmission back in. This Liberty Gears 1-inch 23 spline.